Previously on MK Podquest.
Kreeya was everywhere.
As we know, there are thousands of these hives in Outworld.
Yes.
So
No, they're not in Outworld.
no, they're in Outworld.
And he says how many hives are across our borders. Across, not within. So she really...
I don't think that's what that means. I'm going to fight you on this.
No, I guarantee you, because I thought the same thing, but it doesn't make sense.
still-
You, Corey, right now, are across the border from me.
Well, what I believe him to be saying is like across the expanse that is Outworld, across all of our borders, because it doesn't make sense.
She's using Earthrealm as a staging ground. It's outside of Outworld, so she's breeding her warriors there.
They're not on Earth. I'm going to die on this fucking hill. There's no way they are on Earth.
I disagree. I firmly disagree in this.
Why the fuck would they be on Earth?
Ultimate MK Podquest.
Corey, before we get into the episode,
Is this the episode?
this is the episode. Man,
Okay, but we're not in it yet, but this is it.
you were correct. I was wrong. I was absolutely wrong.
Oh.
This episode, based on the information in this episode, yeah, man, Kreeya's hives were definitely in Outworld. We just had
Thought
the
so.
one in
Thought they were.
Earthrealm last episode.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I admit defeat. I do. I still think that there's some room to interpret the information, but
The text is the text, Neal.
yeah, you know what? I'm conceding.
So, normally I wouldn't do this, but I do have a couple of requests of you as the editor of this podcast.
Do you want a previously on segment at the beginning of the episode where we argue about it? Because I was planning on doing that anyway.
I don't, but I love that. So if you want to do that, go nuts.
I'll probably do that.
What I would like is, you know those like old-timey triumphant like medieval trumpets?
Yes.
Can you picture that?
I think so. Yeah.
And also just a crowd cheering overwhelmingly.
You want fanfare.
I would love a fanfare. When proven correct, that would be fantastic.
Okay. All right.
I really want to punctuate this for the audience because it might not happen again in terms of me correcting you on something directly Mortal Kombat related. So I feel like we really got to drive this point home.
You'll get your fanfare, and I, much like many a reptile in this episode, have been melted by my own acid.
Yeah, man.
Happens a
I
lot.
gotta say, like, I don't know why. Simultaneously, I don't know why Zaterans aren't spitting that all the time and never doing it ever because it's so dangerous. Clearly,
Yeah, it doesn't.
but
make
also, why not just in a fight do it like 8 or 9 times and just eventually you'll hit the person? I don't know.
It must take like they must have to like work muster it up, like get those glands filled.
You gotta just tense up your whole body. You're just charging. Like,
Probably, yeah. They have to hold it. It's a charge. It's a charge move, like Guile's flash kick.
that classic Mortal Kombat, everyone's favorite guy.
Everyone's favorite Mortal Kombat character, Guile.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, I lose, but fuck it. We should just get into it, right?
Yeah. I lost my train of thought.
Episode 18 in Cold Blood. Blood with a K.
Pew, 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 pew.
Oh, sorry, Blood with a K. What the fuck?
Like how I didn't notice that even a little bit. I was like, okay, yeah.
Cold with a K.
In Cold Clud.
Not a Sub-Zero episode. Nope. This is a Kreeya and Reptile episode.
And I still don't know why it's called this.
I think it's because reptiles are cold-blooded, and
Yeah, but like
because
that's dumb, right?
Yeah, but also Taja like kills a reptile guy in cold blood.
I think that is a weak motivation for naming your whole episode after that.
Well,
What they should have just done is just called it the best one. So that if anybody didn't have time to watch all 22 episodes, you could go, "Oh, this is the best one? I'll watch that one then."
yeah, you really dug this episode, didn't you?
Yeah, I don't know how much of that excitement from the other day will persist into right now, but boy howdy, my notes are wildly over enthusiastic about this one.
Well, maybe you'll get the magic back as we talk about it.
Wow, there is a note here that just says "ah!" Like it's just A and then a whole shitload of H's in its capital letters. I actually don't fully know why anymore because contextually there's not enough around it for me to figure it out. It says ah ha 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 ha. oh my god, should have switched to Geico, is what it says.
You messaged me something about that. We can figure this out from context.
I
clues.
did. My note immediately after that says, is Kreeya gonna fuck a lizard man? Is that personal reward?
Okay. So this... So that was near the end of the episode, or...
No, it's not. It's
Okay.
near the very beginning. It's like
Okay.
right at the top almost.
We'll figure it out.
It's just after... It's close to my note that says, oh wow, Neal, the hive's in Outworld.
Okay. And I have a note that says, Kreeya is back in Earthrealm. I lose, Corey wins.
I'm really glad we're putting a really fine point on this.
Hey, look, when I'm wrong, I'm wrong, all right?
Everybody gets one.
So, let's, you want to jump into the Corey corner real quick here? Or
Yeah.
long? It can be long.
As quick as humanly possible. Yeah, let's do that.
Welcome to the Corey Corner.
Bam, bam, bam. So, as Neal said, Kreeya is back in Pog form, and she's in Earthrealm. And so, we've all been in this situation. Has this ever happened to you?
Sorry, dude.
Have you? What?
Remember Alf? That's like my favorite Simpsons joke of
I
all
didn't know
time.
what joke we were laughing at. I didn't know if you were laughing at the Pog joke or
Absolutely,
has this
I am.
ever happened to you?
Sorry.
Is that good radio?
Who cares? We're big in Hungary, baby.
Yeah, shout out to my man Carlos who told us we are gigantic in Hungary.
Yeah, Carlos, if you're listening, prove it.
Prove it. So Carlos is not back in Pog form, but Kreeya is. And let me pitch it to you this way. Has this ever happened to you? You attempted to simultaneously invade two different realms at the same time, got a little stretched thin, and it didn't totally work out, and now you're wondering, what can I do to successfully invade two realms at the same time once again? Let me tell you. Hi, Billy Mays here with a special incredible product. Have you tried Zaterans?
Oh. Bow, 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 bow.
Zaterans are a group of identical reptile shapeshifting people who will do your every whim once they sort it amongst themselves via the necessary cultural fisticuffs. Once that's been solved, you can put Zaterans pretty much wherever you want. They're invisible. They can stick to walls. They can fight, spit acid. Note, sometimes they spit acid on each other. It's not their fault. They're trying their best. And they will do their best to protect and curate your hives of nightmare warrior women people. But remember, you have to cut a deal against the world's biggest scary man, Shao Kahn, and that might take a bit of convincing. So for only one easy payment of treachery to the Emperor of Outworld, you can try Zaterans. That's my pitch for that half of the episode.
It's really good.
The other half of the episode is the crew attempting to go on a string of serial bombings to protect Earthrealm. They discover these hives that Kreeya is up to with Reptile and the gang, and they make a bunch of bombs, and Kreeya, too many similar names in this one.
Yeah.
Kiri and Anka get involved. They're back, and this time they are... their personality dials have been cranked up to like 16 out of 5.
Yeah.
They are having the time of their lives, and they say they're here to help the combat crew figure out how to stop Kreeya and her terrible attempts at invasion. That might not be entirely true, but we learn more about how that relationship with Zaterans, one easy payment of treachery to the Emperor of Outworld, came about, and how the crew plans to stop them. And along the way, once again, Raiden teaches us an important lesson about maintaining our tempers.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Buy one Zateran, get one free anger management lesson.
Yeah, from Jeffrey Meek himself.
From the God of Thunder, Jeffrey Meek himself.
Yeah, it's, and if you order right now, you get 2 Zaterans and lessons from Jeffrey Meek on anger management.
Well, that's it. Pick up your Zaterans at your local Corey corner and then head across the street to the Neal Nook for a bit that's really losing steam. All right.
For a bit we can only do for about 2 more minutes.
Let's go over to the Neal Nook. Welcome to the Neal Nook.
It's Gucci.
So this episode...
Sorry.
You're good. So this episode was again written by James Cappy, directed by Reza Bedi, who also directed Thicker Than Blood, and he's got a couple more coming up too. So we got some returning characters this week too. Of course, Fabiana Udenio is back as Kreeya, Sung Hai Lee is back as Kiri, and Tahisha Hicks is back as Anka.
And I gotta say, again, really quick, we are getting all-time great Kiri and Anka here.
Yeah, we first saw them in the Noob Saibot episode, so if you want to hear more about them, go visit that one, maybe on our YouTube page.
Enhanced edition, if you buy one Zaterran invasion right now, you get free access to our YouTube channel.
The rest of you have to pay.
Unfortunately.
We've got a proper reptile this episode. We saw a reptile back in Thicker Than Blood. Right? Yeah.
And
no.
As we've learned, we never would have known which because they all look the fucking same.
Not Thicker Than Blood. Twisted Truth. Nope, not Twisted Truths. Show of a doubt. Twisted Truths. Yeah, it was Twisted Truths.
Remember, everyone, Neal is getting all of his mistakes out of the way now, so by the time we hit the finale, there won't be any more.
That was the one with Brian Rath Clark in it. That was the one with Tomas.
Hell yeah, brother.
Yeah, that's the first time we saw a reptile, but this time we are seeing the reptile, and he is played by John Valera. John Valera's done stunts on the show before. He did stunt work in Cold Reality with a C. And in last week's episode, The Master, this guy does stunts in a ton of things. I'm not going to go through his entire IMDb. I didn't find a lot of stuff that connected to other stunt workers.
So no VIP, no Blue Pacific Blue.
No, but he did do stunts in The Rundown.
Okay.
Mission Impossible 3, Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man's Chest, and At World's End. Street Fighter, The Legend of Chun-Li.
I'm picturing Mission Impossible 3, Pirates of the Caribbean.
Ninja Assassin. He's John Wick 3, Deadpool 2. This guy just does a ton of stunt work, fight choreography, stunt coordination. He's just all over the place.
That's cool.
Yeah. So that's...
I don't know why I said that mid-yawn. I could have just waited 2 seconds.
That's John Valera as Reptile. Now, this episode's confusing because there are a lot of reptiles in this one.
Sure is, pal.
They all seem to just be called reptile or referred to as a reptile or a Zaterran or whatever.
Yeah,
they're all
the implication
dressed the
being,
same.
yeah, no one is named.
Yeah.
Like, you hear reptile single and plural, and you hear Zaterra the place, and potentially once Zaterrans the group, but you're not getting like, hey, this is Kimberly the reptile or the Zaterran. Like, you're just not. Well, we can name 2 of them, actually.
Sure, we can, but let's save that for the discussion. But yeah, this
Jeffrey and me.
This sounds like the kind of thing we should tackle on a mythologies episode, the confusing reptile stuff.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
In my notes, I've alternated between calling John Valera's reptile Reptile Prime, Reptile Alpha, Reptile Simp Lord.
Reptile Alpha 3.
Reptile Alpha 3 Upper for matching services on the Sega Dreamcast.
Reptile Turbo Championship Edition.
All right.
GX. I'm mixing my metaphors, but...
That's really it for the Neal Nook. So let's just get right into it.
Get into it, gamers.
Right away. Right away, this episode opens with a dude laying in a bed, shirtless.
A concerned and uncomfortable-looking man, despite the implied positivity of the current circumstances.
He also looks just dumb as a brick.
My note describes him as Big Jaw Man. He doesn't even have like a colossal jaw compared to some people, but he's like a stereotypically hunky dude, and good for him.
He is, but he didn't have any lines. I imagine in my head he initially had lines, and they were like, yeah, this isn't going to work.
Quick question before we get too into this scene. I know it started about a second ago.
Sure.
How does no one have chest hair?
I don't know, dude.
In these times? How are they sorting that problem out?
I have no idea. It doesn't make any sense to me. Daniel Bernhardt looks like he'd be a big old hairy-chested man.
And he sure isn't.
And he sure fucking isn't. And
I get it. Like, that's it would be unruly, but how are they doing this? Is it magic? I don't know.
Well, we do see in the Quan Chi episode when Daniel Bernhardt goes to get a shave, maybe that same barber just takes it off the chest as well.
That's got implications I'm not crazy about, but let's continue.
Anyway, yeah, so...
Brought to you by Manscaped.
Manscaped, sponsor us. The official...
I fucking hate those ads, actually. Manscaped, you know what? Don't sponsor us. Okay.
Oh, God. All right.
Okay, we're 2 seconds into the episode. This is great.
Yeah, this dude's in bed, and he's flanked by two of Kreeya's warrior women, and Kreeya comes in, and she is just ready to bone this guy, right? She says something interesting. She says,
Yeah.
"Don't worry, the fight is over. You're safe now. There will be no punishment, only reward." That gives me the implication that this guy was like captured and brought here against his will. Because she makes another comment to her,
Oh, definitely.
to her warriors,
Yeah.
that like they chose well.
These Earth Mortals warrior lines will complement ours quite nicely.
Yeah. So she's
We-
taken.
Have to unpack the term Earth Mortals later because it is said too many times.
Sure. I think the basic breakdown of that is that they're mortals from Earth. I think there's mortals from other places as well.
I know, but like it sounds really dumb.
Really? On this show? I don't believe it.
Anyway, we're 13 seconds into this episode now. We're getting there.
And at 1 minute and 21 seconds into this television episode, we have sex oils.
Yeah, I feel like there was a point in time where sex oils were a lot more common than they are now. Like, is this historically accurate to the prevalence of sex oils?
Is this what you're supposed to do with a sex oil? Just rub it on the guy's chest and that's it?
It might. We don't know what it does.
I guess that would explain the no chest hair.
It's being just singed off by all of the profoundly sexual oils.
I just think if you had a hairy chest, it'd get kind of knotted and matted and just
Gross.
It wouldn't be
Gross. Gross. Gross.
Exactly.
I hate it.
This is why this was the casting choice.
Yeah, I gotta say,
Are you willing to shave your chest? Are you willing to wax your chest for this role?
Kreeya has this cool, like, satin hooded
You're trying
robe.
really hard to get off of this topic, aren't you?
So Kreeya's got this cool, like, satin hooded robe, and then she takes that off to go murder fuck the man,
Yeah.
for lack of a better phrase. And I'm only making this reference point because I watched this movie a couple days ago. This is a Barbarella ass outfit that she has under that robe.
100%.
And I love that. It's extremely good look. And also these two together, Kreeya and Big Man, they're the two most 90s looking motherfuckers.
Yeah, they are. Kreeya was shopping at Julie Strain's garage sale.
I just love how like this TV show is simultaneously like historical fantasy, but everyone looks like they walked off the street of 1998.
Yeah, totally.
Extremely good.
Rest in peace, Julie Strain.
So we know what happens in that scene.
Right.
She fucks him to death to make warriors. Then we get, I am willing to put my foot down, the best snippet length scene of anything we will ever get on this show.
Oh boy.
It's so fucking good.
Yeah.
The body dumping scene.
Yes.
Where they just chuck Big Jaw Man in a pit. And there's two ladies there. And again, the 90s hair just abounds. But it's just this pitch perfect, like, guess we're done with this guy.
There's already one body
oh,
in there.
don't worry. Looks like there's a guy in there. And then they're like, oh, don't worry. He had a good time when he died. It's fine. It's not a big deal.
And then they like, come on. Kreeya's probably done with the other one by now.
Yeah, it's so funny.
Going back to get another Earth mortal warrior to throw in the mass grave.
Yeah, and those two actors, whoever they are, bless their hearts. They just pitch perfect. Beautiful. Love it.
Warrior 1 and Warrior 2, Christina Ritzy and Nicole Dalton. I bet it's them.
It's probably them.
Yeah, I bet
Shout
it's
out.
them. Because they got shout out to the ladies.
End of sentence.
All
Shout
right.
out to the ladies.
So back at the trading post, we see Taja setting up for the day. She's pushing like a large table full of shit on it by herself.
Yeah, why is Taja not helping anybody? Or, you know what I mean. Flip those words around. I'm not saying it again.
She has a line. She's like, man, those two always know just when to disappear, right? They're just not there. Taja's pushing heavy shit around, setting up the market. What? Kung Lao and Ciro are off, I don't know, making out together.
Having
in secret?
sex.
Yeah.
Well, one of us went with the more graphic option. This is an episode with sex in it, so I was prepared to go the extra mile, but maybe it's a weird thing for me to say.
It's some real, sorry, honey, I can't help you. The big game is on kind of energy.
Yeah, they're in the man cave.
Anyway, so this guy comes into the trading post and he's got this big box and he's like, hey, I got something I want to sell. And Taj is
This
like,
sketchy ass Doug looking guy.
and Taj is like, yeah, we got a lot of shit, dude. I'm not buying right now. And he's like, you got to take a look. And she's like, okay, fine.
You ain't never seen shit like this before.
Yeah, this shit's wild. And he opens the chest.
Neal.
Yeah.
Did you know what this was supposed to be?
No, it looked like a giant shark's tooth.
And it's gold. I was so fucking lost.
So was I. I had no fucking clue. I was like, and then Taj just like instantly recognizes it, and she calls Zero and Kung Lao. They run in real quick.
They've been here the whole time apparently, and just aren't helping.
They just weren't fucking helping. They were just on the other side of the door, and they recognize it immediately too as, I guess, a part of one of Kreeya's hives or something. Did we miss that last Kreeya episode? Did they show that shit? Is it like a part of the honeycomb?
No, I think it is part of that. I think we didn't miss anything, and the show just did a bad job communicating it.
I think so, but they're immediately like, oh shit, this is some Kreeya shit. She's back. And then the guy who brought the part in, he's like, hey, if you're not going to buy that, can I have it back? I want to go sell it. The fuck is he selling it for? Like,
because he's poor, Neal, or maybe he wants to buy tickets to the big game.
He thinks it's gold, maybe. I don't know.
Maybe it is gold. We don't know. It sure looks gold. Well, and then they're like, yeah, we'll trade you for whatever. And then he tries to take a bunch of shit.
Yeah,
and then Taja is like, absolutely not. And just sort of kicks him out.
Taja's like, I know I said take whatever you want, but I didn't actually mean take whatever you want. I meant take this tiny thing.
Read the room, Doug. Get the fuck out of here. We're co-opting your shit.
We hate you. Never come back again. Thanks for the trash.
Oh, and we found out the name of the lake.
The lake, we did. What is it?
Yol.
Yol?
I wrote it down as YOHL. That's the best impression I could get. It's like Yol or Y'all. Not y'all,
so
but like
the Yol Lake next to the old Ji Ing Bridge. We're really painting a picture of this place.
Yeah, we could draw a map soon.
It's pretty soon, and mark all of Kreeya's hive locations on it.
All the places people that our combat crew loves have died.
That'd be the whole map, pretty much.
Just one big X.
Just one big X over the woods, one big X over the city. One big X over the ruins.
Big question mark over the lake.
Yeah, so Kreeya's back in Earthrealm, and I lose, and Corey wins.
Also, again, the color grading is all fucked up. Vorpax's outfit looks like it's fucking nuclear.
They must have made the outfit to look a specific way in the blue of the cobalt mines, and now that she's out, it just doesn't, you know what I mean?
It's inexplicable. I don't know what's up with that.
But we're back at Camp Kreeya 2.0, I suppose.
No, it's the exact same camp.
Yeah, but
Camp Kreeya 1.5.
If it's the same camp, then that would stand to argue that she never left Earthrealm in the first place, and her hives have been there the whole time. Okay,
stop. This is a show without infinite budget. Is what that is.
So Vorpax is telling Kreeya that most of their hives in Outworld have been destroyed, right? And Kreeya's like, oh, fuck. Okay, we really got to protect our hives in Earthrealm now. We need to rely on our new ally, right? And it's a real, the enemy of my enemy is my friend kind of shit, right?
Which I'm fairly sure was the attempt last time, and it did not go what I would describe as well.
Kreeya's got one strategy in war, and it's to ally herself with people who are with the wrong people, basically.
Yeah, she's bad at war.
Good at death fucking.
Well, it's weird because the implication is that she's good at war, but I certainly haven't seen anything to illustrate that to me.
No, especially if she can like raise armies in 2 days, and she's still getting her ass kicked by Outworld. Like,
yeah, figure it out, man. Like, what are you doing?
You need to raise some better generals or something. Anyway, back at the combat crew, Zero is just making bombs out of gourds and black powder.
See, I also thought gourds, but I thought they might have also been ceramic.
Who
ceramic
knows?
Gourds.
Probably making them out of whatever they got laying around that's vaguely bomb-shaped.
Oh, wait. Did we skipped a thing.
What's that?
The new CGI establishing shot alarm went off.
Oh, yeah? For the city?
It must have been, because I don't think it was Zatara yet. But we get multiple CGI establishing shots. My notes, man, okay, sidebar for the audience. My notes let me down on a regular basis because all this says is, here are the 3 notes in a row. New CGI establishing shot alarm goes off. That's in all capital letters. Zero, are you a fucking mad scientist? Sulfur nitrates charcoal, baby. He's building bombs. What's that supposed to tell me now, days later, when I'm recording a podcast? Like, where are the specifics of information that help me like situate this bit? What am I doing? You'd think I'd have figured this out by now after months of doing this, but I haven't at all.
Should I just share my notes with you ahead of time? And you can like try to add them in.
Well, we're coming up to the notes I've already talked about being complete nonsense. So the jokes are off the charts in this scene, by the way.
We do get to see some different corners of Zhu Zhen in this episode, like stuff we don't see often. Like there's one scene where Ciro's coming back into town in a little bit. We don't usually get to see like the front gates of the city and through the front gates into the city.
Right.
They were trying some new stuff. Really, that's kind of it. That's kind of all I had to say on that. So we'll see how much of that is compelling when I go back to listen to it when I edit. What a cool city. I want to move there. I would. I would absolutely fucking move there. Are you kidding me?
The mortality rate seems off the charts.
I mean, tit for tat, you know? Like, the fashion is on point, for starters. There's, like, sweet gambling out in the back alleys that you can do.
Neal, you live in Florida.
Play some bolo ball.
Do you know how easy it would be for you to find sweet gambling in the state you live in?
Yeah, but everybody wears masks in Zhu Zhen, so, like, in the pandemic, you know, it'd be a little bit safer. Because all the ninjas, at least, I imagine the ninjas are the ones coming into the most contact with people outside the city, and they're always coming into town wearing masks, right? So you're not going to get a whole lot of outside cases.
Right. Community spread is low?
Yeah, I think community spread is probably pretty low, probably because, you know, they lose 5% of their population every week.
Who's the public health officer in Zhu Zhen? What's their life like?
There is that doctor we see in this episode.
Yeah, it's that guy.
It must be him.
Old man.
Old man doctor. Okay.
Dr. Oldman.
Anyway. Dr. Combat.
So, this...
Ciro's making bombs, man.
Yeah, he's using sulfur, nitrates, and charcoal as established by everyone asking him what the fuck he's doing. And he's got steady hands. He's like a fucking rock until...
Boom. Raiden pops in. New toy?
He literally... My note also just says, new toys! Raiden? Okay, so I know what you're thinking. Man, the Raiden in this episode seems like the exact thing that drives Corey insane about Raiden. Correction. Raiden is fucking awesome. The jokes are rapid fire.
Yeah, he is.
He couldn't give less of a shit about what's happening.
Raiden had his coffee this morning for sure.
We're not at the quiz line yet, but...
No, but Raiden pops in, surprises Ciro, who almost drops the bomb, the gourd full of black powder, as Kung Lao identifies it as. And they're like, whoa, whose side are you on here, Raiden? He's like, Earthrealm side. I'd hate to see it blown up.
Right.
And they're like, well, no. These aren't for Earthrealm. These are for Kreeya. Kreeya's hives are back. We're going to go blow up all of Kreeya's children. Wow. That's dark.
That's hardcore, man.
That fucking is, right? And Raiden's like, yeah, watch out for that one. Watch out for Kreeya. You know, she's losing her armies in Outworld. She's getting more desperate. And she's becoming more dangerous. And they're like, well, what do you think she's doing? And he's like, what do you think she's doing?
He's a real fucking shitheel, like, teacher.
Yeah.
He's like, no, I'm not going to tell you. You have to tell me.
Ciro guesses right. He guesses she's found an ally. And Raiden goes, everybody pay Ciro. He's won today's quiz.
Do you think every Raiden interaction has been a quiz?
There's a quiz
running
jar.
Tally.
Everyone has to put money in every week.
My note after that in succession is just, I am having a fucking ball already. LMAO, the characters are now just dismissively saying thanks for the update.
Yep.
And then just happy hive hunting.
Yeah.
That's how that scene ends, is Raiden is like a fucking dad telling people to be careful when they go out to like hang out in the woods.
As the combat crew picks up their bags full of bombs and heads out for the day to go blow up Kreeya hives, he goes, Did you catch the weird hesitation?
Yeah.
He goes,
yeah.
Happy hive hunting.
Yeah, like he didn't want to say it. Like
it was a weird cut.
Yeah, he's doing his best.
Yeah, that was the best take they got that day. He was he jumped the gun a little bit. It's like have you ever listened to nope, hold on. Never mind. It's not worth telling. It's a Saved by the Bell story. Okay, there's an episode of Saved by the Bell where the cheerleaders are leading a chant. I just got to get it out, man.
It's not worth telling. Okay, I'm going to tell it now.
And like and then they get the crowd in on the cheer, and the cheer is like B B B B B B B B B B B B go Bayside, and one person starts early. They go B B B B B B, and you just hear one guy go Bay and stop.
That's a good bit.
And then it continues, and they didn't. They're like, we're not reshooting this whole fucking scene. That's staying in.
Yeah, we don't have infinite time.
Anyway, that was mostly a story for you, just to get that.
Yeah,
out.
me, the guy who's never seen Saved by the Bell.
Well,
Neal, I'm 14 years old.
You want to do a Saved by the Bell podcast?
Oh my god. Also, I figured out what my stupid screeching notes are about.
Sweet.
Because I have the episode open, and I can't believe I took this many notes on this one interaction.
Are we there yet? Or
We're about to get there shortly, because they're gonna go out hunting. But before they get to anybody, we get a cool shot of a lake with some fog on it, Lake Yol, as we know now.
Lake YOLO.
And Vorpax is scoping out one of the hives with two warrior ladies with her, I believe, and those very cheap-looking shields that they have.
Yeah.
And she is talking to somebody, we don't know who, somebody inside the hive, and then we cut to a green CGI lizard man.
Yes, it's a little baby reptile. It's a little reptile guy.
So they're talking.
He's like translucent green too. You can like see through him.
They've completely changed their look. And to be clear, so what Vorpax says is, when our warriors are safely out, once you're done guarding this hive, and it finally is, they're all out there, Kreeya will reward you personally. So I made a joke just about seeing the reptile man, that's the Geico bit, and then just as a personal reward, Kreeya is going to fuck the lizard man.
Yeah, and you're not technically wrong.
I'm not super wrong. I mean, not this particular one, but,
So now do we get the scene where Zero is laying on the ground, just kind of like scoping out that hive from a distance?
No, not quite, I don't think, because they have to split up who's got what bombs and shit, and then I think it's Zero in the grass.
Oh, right. Because Zero does hand Taja some bombs and mansplain to her about how she needs to be careful with them.
Gee, I thought we could play catch with it.
God damn it, Zero. They're bombs. She's the smartest person out of the three of you.
And then we get basically what if Zero was in fucking like Rambo.
So he gets his bomb ready and he's creeping up to the hive. And this is when I noticed, potentially for the first time, just how much I love his boots and want them.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. So, quick aside,
Sure.
which is famous last words.
Those boots are tight. Go on.
Are you a boot guy?
I like a boot.
But like, are you the kind of guy who like, oh, I'm hanging out with my friends later. This is a boot occasion. I'm gonna just wear boots casually out.
Yeah, I'll throw my Thursday boots on. I got a nice
your
pair
Thursday boots.
That's the brand. That's not like for the day of the week.
What? That's even funnier. Are you fucking kidding me?
They're for any day, really. But,
hey, Thursday Boots, sponsor us. Listen to this copy. Listen to this ad. Thursday Boots, they're for any day, really.
Anyway, yeah, Zero's boots are tight. They're like that classic swashbuckler, like, high on the calf, but like with that fold down at the top, that.
These are Mission Impossible 3 Pirates of the Caribbean boots.
These are Gaston's boots from Beauty and the Beast.
Yes, 100%.
Or Eric from Little Mermaid. You get where I'm going with this.
Yeah, you're keeping up. You're a smart guy.
And so he sneaks up to the hive and he's getting ready to like chuck a bomb in there when boom, he's faced with a human reptile man.
I don't understand why these reptile dudes transform before fighting into human form. Are they trying to level the playing field? Like, what is the deal?
I don't know, because that's an interesting take. Like, all right, so we see Reptile in lizard form in the movie spit acid, but it doesn't kill when he does it.
Right.
Like he spits acid at Liu Kang and it just kind of like mildly discomforts him for a minute. And
yes.
then in this show, last time we saw him spit acid was when a reptile killed Tomas and had to turn into its human form to do that. So I'm wondering if they're just not that strong when they're in lizard form and they have to turn human in order to like do the cool shit.
That seems like a pretty extreme oversight in like their physiology.
But it would explain why they're able to take that human form, right? Like maybe the lizard form is part of their like survival camouflage instincts,
Right.
So they just can't. I mean, who the fuck knows?
I certainly don't.
I bet there's an answer out there somewhere. That's my headcanon anyway. Because otherwise, yeah, why not just stay tiny and invisible and just like spit acid right as he's about to walk in that door where it's like a sure shot and boom, Ciro's dead and the hive is safe.
Yeah, it really seems like a given to do it that way.
Anyway, Ciro fights a reptile man. Kind of a good fight. I don't really know.
It's all right. It didn't leave a massive impression or anything.
There was some cool shit with the reptile man scurrying up the trees and jumping really high and leaping over things and stuff like that. Like really trying to like lean into this nimble, Ciro loses sight of him a couple times as if he like camouflaged.
It's and they do like he climbs up a tree and shit.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. But and Ciro is Ciro's getting
you hate to see this.
He's getting dumpster on. He's getting dunked on hard.
Can we backtrack for just a second?
Yeah.
Because I just missed a note. I hoped you packed it right, Taja said about the absolutely fat bowl Ciro was loading. I felt like that needed to get in there.
Yeah. Totally worth going back for. All right.
Totally worth it.
So yeah, Ciro's getting his ass whooped. And he's down. Is he about to get like acids? Oh no, that's what fucking happens. The lizard man
acids a tree.
He acids Ciro and Ciro dodges it, but it hits a tree limb and the tree limb falls on Ciro. Some real Three Stooges shit.
Yeah, a really goofy way to attempt to really, murder a guy. You're putting a lot of things into what can only be described as God's hands.
Yeah, the reptile man got lucky. He missed the shot, but he was still able to, he just hit the tree at the right point. And a fucking tree falls on Ciro, much like when that tree fell on the lead singer of Taking Back Sunday that one time.
Sure, that classic bit that everyone knows and loves. Something I want to point out.
Yeah.
The colors in that fight are a travesty. Why is everything color graded to be weirdly orangey brown? Because as I mentioned to you, Neal, we see in the end credits of this episode scenes from this fight again, or rather the bumper at the end, I believe.
Right.
And it does not have this like color graded filter pass on it to make it weirdly like golden orange brown. And it just sort of looks I don't want to say better per se, but some of this sequence is so golden brown that it's so much. It's outrageous. And
yep.
I can't help but thinking like that's why all the pants and shirts look weird, and I just don't know why they're doing this.
It's the honeycomb cereal filter.
I get that you want to have a look, but like, what are we doing, gang?
So at that bumper near the end, they threw the filter over it, but it just made it look normal. So Ciro's fucking down, and he's about to get got, and then holy shit, everybody's favorite Mortal Kombat characters, Kreeya and Anka, show up and start fighting the lizard man.
It's the best. It's the best.
It's so good. They
are everybody's favorite Mortal Kombat characters.
Cartwheel kicks and shit like that, I think. Just flipping around, beating down this reptile man, and then fucking Anka breaks the reptile dude's neck. Boom, dead.
Yeah, she's just like, yeah, I love murder. So yeah, Anka wasn't really as energetic, I'll say, in the previous episode. Turns out she was attempting to push back her outrageous bloodlust.
Yeah. So Anka kills the reptile dude. Kiri says, "Beautiful kill," and Anka, she's horny for destruction, isn't she?
In a major way.
They help Ciro up. He's got a big stick. He doesn't trust them. Finally, he kind of gives in. They're like, "We saved your life." He's like, "We got to destroy this nest." They're like, "Yeah, we're on your side. We don't want Kreeya to rule because we like Shao Kahn. So for now, we're friends."
Sus as hell. Don't trust them for a second, but sure.
But what choice does he have? Because that tree fucking broke his arm or some shit, or like really fucked. It didn't break his arm. I guess we find that out, but it really fucked him up. So he's like, "Okay, we got to destroy that nest." Anka's like, "Sure. I'll light it on fire, and then I'll watch it burn."
Yeah, this episode is some real Wile E. Coyote shit, huh?
Yeah, he's like, "No, use this bomb I made out of a gourd."
No, I bought a bomb from Acme Corporation. Acme.
And he's like, "Do you know what to do with that?" And she's like, "I always know what to do with."
Even with this. Also, my note immediately before that is Anka has a personality now.
Yeah, Anka is...
She's just like destructive sex pyro.
Horny for violence.
Deeply horny for violence.
So
It's my favorite Taking Back Sunday song. Is that a joke I can make? I don't know anything about that band.
Kiri starts walking Zero back to town, and Anka's like, I'll blow up this place and I'll catch up. We do hear an explosion.
Right, but that could have been anything.
And we cut to Kung Lao and Taja, who are still out in the woods looking around for other hives. And they hear the explosion too, and they're like, oh, Zero must have gotten one. And they just start like booking it back to Zhuzhen. And this is where we get this kind of cool scene of the entrance to Zhuzhen, like from the road into the city. And they look inside the gates and they see Zero and Kiri walking. She's like supporting him because he's limping, because he's a big, hurt, injured baby man.
He's the big baby boy man.
He gets beat up a lot, right?
Big boy, baby boy man.
So they race in and they're like, whoa, Kiri, she must be hurting him or something. He's like, no, guys, it's cool. She
guys, chill.
She saved my life. And then Anka shows up and she's like, I helped too.
And it's the best. And it's just the best thing.
And her hands all fucked up, and they're like, and Kiri's like, what happened to your hands? And she's like, oh, the explosion was bigger than I expected, and my hand got hurt.
My hand hurted.
I have ouchies on my fingies. And so they're like, all right, okay, cool. They fill in Taja and Kung Lao about how they're on their side now. They connect the dots to the reptile guards.
Yep. Also, the tone of this episode is all over the fucking place. I really just want to point that out again. Like, the tone dial is just off the, like, just being twisted wildly.
And I think fittingly, so is the tone of our podcast so far.
You know, if it has this ever happened to you? You're trying to record a podcast about a tonally diverse television program and you find yourself falling into the same trap?
Oh, boy.
Do I have a product for you?
Zaterans.
Streamlining. Oh, okay.
It's always Zaterans.
Oops, all Zaterans. Captain Crunch, you fucked up for the last time.
Oh, God. That's really good.
You're going to take over our realm.
I tried to make a honeycomb cereal joke earlier, and you talked over it. So now we got a cereal theme running through this thing.
Oh, I thought your honeycomb thing was about the actual hives. Also, anytime I talk over anything, you could just cut me out, and then I didn't talk over it.
I'm just going to cut out the honeycomb joke because it wasn't that good, and leave in the stuff you were saying, which was good. That's what often happens. Anyway, so Taja like connects. She's like, wait, they got the reptile dudes? The reptile dudes, that's who killed my boyfriend Tomas a few weeks ago, right? So she's kind of pissed.
She is.
Kung Lao and Zero are like, all right, come on, Kiri and Anka, let's go back to the combat club and talk about things. And again, Taja's like, wait. You guys don't remember the last time we met these two? And,
this isn't deeply suspicious to anybody.
Like, am I crazy here? And no, Taja, we're here to tell you you're not crazy. Once again, you're the only voice of reason on this show.
Once again, Taja is a victim of the writers.
So at the combat club, a doctor has apparently just finished checking out on Zero, confirms that nothing is broken, also confirms that there's a doctor in Zhuzhen, which is a good thing to know. Sad that there's only one, probably. And Kung Lao and Taja are just sort of talking with Kiri and Anka, and they're like, hey, we're grateful for the help, ladies. But we know you work for Shao Kahn, so we don't really trust you. And Kiri is like, no. See, we don't want Kreeya taking over Earthrealm. We like Earthrealm, right? We're on your side. And they're like, well, okay, but isn't Shao Kahn just going to do the same thing? And
they're being very touchy while giving this exposition.
They are. Yeah, they're really, they like each other.
Their love language is touch.
Touch and murder.
Well, that's touch.
Well, it doesn't have to be. Anyway, let's not get into the
it often is, though. We don't need to get into the semantics of whether or not murder is a love language.
And Kiri's like, well, okay, but Shao Kahn is being held in check by the Elder God, so he can't just storm in here and fuck the whole place up, right? He's got to earn it. Meanwhile, Kreeya is being a lot more subtle, and she's sneaking her way in by fucking. And we don't like that, right?
That's our job.
So for now, we're on your side.
I do not trust those people, by the way. I want to make that unequivocally clear.
Kiri and Anka, they seem on the level to me. We'll see. We'll see what happens later. But now we get our first shot of Zatera. Man.
It's rainy.
Yeah.
It's lightning. It's green. And there are alligator men everywhere.
Hell yeah. It rules. Translucent CGI reptiles everywhere. And we're in a cave now where Reptile Prime is talking with Kreeya and Vorpax. We should point out that the reason we know it's Reptile Prime is because his apron is shinier than the other aprons.
And I would like to also say that this is definitely a creative reimagining of a pre-existing throne room set that they've used.
Totally. I think this is just it's either Shao Kahn's throne room or it's Shang Tsung's area, just kind
Or
of
what if we
rearranged.
made it green?
Yeah.
And that's fine. I get it. And it looks tight as hell. It's extremely green lighting. Everything is just really, really green.
Yeah. Kreeya and Vorpax are meeting with Reptile Prime, and this is when we get the details of the alliance, right? And the agreement is that when Kreeya conquers Outworld, she is going to liberate Zatera. Zatera is it's a realm under control of Shao Kahn that hasn't been absorbed into Outworld.
Right. It's like a colony of Outworld.
It's officially neutral, I think, but it's like you can still travel through it. Like that's how Katana
They're in bed
travels
together though
to
by
Earthrealm.
virtue of needing to be.
Yeah. So he hasn't conquered it. He has an alliance with them. Basically, she's trying to get the Zaterans to kill the combat crew because now that one of their guards has been exposed, she's trying to convince him like, hey, word gets back to Shao Kahn, he's going to know you're involved and you're going to be toast, right? So now we're going to cut to the Council of Reptiles, which is like 5 or 6 reptile men sitting around a table.
This is the world's greatest show. Because they have this set where it's there's like a council table.
It's like a Flintstone style rock table.
And everyone is dressed exactly the same. And we're getting what can only be described as like a random snippet of Game of Thrones-esque Zateran political intrigue that leads into infighting and misogyny.
Yes. We got the Council of Reptiles on one side, and we've got Reptile Prime with Kreeya and Vorpax on the other, and they're arguing about the alliance, right? And the guy on the council side is speaking about how, oh, you made this alliance without consulting us. Now we have a woman in here speaking to the council.
Yeah, what? You take your orders from a woman now because I'm a rampant sexist reptile man?
Yeah. My allegiance is to Shao Kahn.
And then they have a mirror match.
Yes. How do Zaterans settle conflicts? Mortal Kombat, of course.
They fight each other, and we have to watch this through an overactive fog machine.
Yes. It was a cool fight. I like the reference to, like you said, the mirror match idea. So
yeah, that's what it is. Like
on this subject, I've been reading the Malibu Mortal Kombat comic series. And in in issue 4 of the first series, in Outworld, Johnny Cage stumbles across a woman who looks and is dressed exactly like Sonya in Outworld, but her name is Anos.
Oh, boy.
Like, literally Sonya backwards. And he thinks it's Sonya, and then real Sonya comes in and fights Anos. And that was a nice little mirror match reference as well. This one is much better. This was not some Zero and Horus shit. Yeah,
well, and this fight has a couple good things in it, like a needless in tandem cartwheel.
Yeah.
Like a double cartwheel. They jump and punch each other in midair at one point. There are trampolines all over the place.
They're scurrying around, climbing up the rocks and shit like that. And the one guy, the challenger, right? Beta Cuck Reptile.
Based in red-pilled Reptile. 4chan Reptile.
Yeah, 4chan Reptile. He starts to realize he's losing the fight to alpha male Reptile.
He's like, beans.
And he's like running around, jumping over the table. He has no allies left in this room, right? He
literally climbs all the way up to the top of the set.
Yeah. But no, shit's wrong. He challenged Reptile Prime. Reptile Prime is putting him in his fucking place.
Someone, genuinely I'm not sure who, just sort of yells, "Finish him."
Yes.
Like it's a thing to say. Why? Well, I know why. Why is not the question. But like,
you're totally right.
What?
It was one of
What the fuck?
It was one of the other Reptile Council members, right? Because I don't think that this guy, when he was speaking, was representing them all. He was just representing himself. And that's why when he's losing the fight, the other ones aren't like chiming in, like stepping in to help him. And you see like a couple moments where he like is nervous and he realizes everyone else in the room is against him. Right. At least that was my reading on it.
Also, they have Reptile voice, by which I mean earlier in the scene, Reptile Prime says, "Agreements.
Finish him."
And it's like, wow, you guys this is extremely cool and not dumb at all.
Yeah, they really lean into the slithering tongues. Ugh, you know what I mean. Yeah, and one of the reptile guys is like, finish him. And he does. Acid spit. Right in the fucking face.
It turns you instantly into a skeleton.
Yes,
Still.
a reptile crumbles.
Well,
It's the reptile crumble.
it's not specifically a crumble,
It's the same CGI effect where they turn into the black skeleton.
but it doesn't crumble.
Can we just call it the
the
reptile
reptile melt?
The reptile melt. Okay. Our follow-up single.
We have one bit where we're like the whoop, there it is, guys.
We have like 3 bits.
Well, we have one musical bit. Meanwhile,
Reptile Prime is like, that's it. We're on Kreeya's side now, guys.
get fucked. We are betraying Shao Kahn. Get bent. I'm in charge. Fuck you.
And then like he talks with Kreeya some more, and she's like, yes, my armies are going to be born within a day. And he's like, you better fucking win. Better fucking win, because we're Shao Kahn's enemies now. That's all I'm saying. You better fucking win, Kreeya.
Yeah. All I'm saying is we've really hitched our wagon to the cause here, and we are extremely fucked if this does not work out.
All right, so now we are back with the combat crew. Taja's making bombs because Ciro's arm is all fucked up.
And Anka does the greatest shit in the world,
Yeah.
which is just take some fucking black powder that they're making and just chuck it at some fucking candles.
Boom. It's like,
Anka is the coolest person on this show. Just raw pyro chaos energy radiating off of Anka.
and she's just laughing and having a
Yeah,
blast.
she's
and
yucking it up. And then
Kiri
Taja
too.
and Ciro were like, yo, what the fuck? Are you trying to like kill us? What if that hit the table? And Anka's response is, no more table. You really don't have any fun, do you? And she is like so like she's bubbly and fun, but she also just doesn't give a fuck. It's such a wild performance that we're getting from here.
she's got like real sorority girl energy later on.
Oh, it's fucking
too.
awesome. It's so funny. She's Tahisha Hicks, is that right?
Yes, Tahisha.
Having
Hicks.
a time of her life, no doubt.
Oh yeah.
This looks like so much fun.
Yeah.
And so they basically just do like more exposition and bomb making.
Yeah, the crews, they're going to go out searching for more hives, and it's Kung Lao, Taja, Anka, and Kiri. And Ciro is staying behind because he's still injured from the tree falling on him. So they all split up to go search for more
Hives.
hives.
And they're like, oh, hell yeah, let's split into teams. Kiri's like, hey, Kung Lao, do you want to get on my team, bud? Huh?
Yeah, and
You want to gang up, bud? And he's like, Tasha's like, no, he does not. We will stick at the team. I think because she doesn't want to be stuck with Anka.
Professor Kung Lao is like, let's stick to the lab partners we've had since the beginning of the semester. So that's it. They go 2 ways, right? And we cut back to Ciro back at the trading post, staying behind because he was injured, is apparently super restless,
He's like, I'm going to go blow some shit up.
packing up a bag full of bombs and apples, really hoping he doesn't get those confused.
Oh, I've bit into my big explosive gourd. Wah, wah, wee, wah.
And he's going out, right?
Yeah, he hits the road, and they're scoping out hives. This,
I love this scene. Kung Lao and Taja.
when they're like, oh, man, how are we going to get the lizard man out of there?
Yeah, Kung Lao and Taja scoping out one of the hives. Kung Lao wants to bait the Zaterran out so that he can interrogate them, right? They're like, oh, what the fuck are we gonna do?
Oh, I know.
Well, it just so happens every woman in Zhuzhen is already dressed like one of Kreeya's warrior women. So Taja just takes off that sheer blue top she was wearing and is now dressed in a leather bikini top and leather pants. And she just strolls right out and she's like, hey, show yourself. I'm with Queen Kreeya.
Or else I'm tattling on you.
And it fucking works.
And he turns into a human man, and she's like, okay, cool, thanks. And you see Kung Lao like sneaking up behind.
Yeah.
And then Tasha takes matters into her own knife. And that's the saying, right? That's what we say, right?
Yeah, no, that's it. That's exactly it.
And just fucking murders this man in cold blood.
Oh, there it is. I told you.
Motherfucker shit. Ah! Oh, I just poured water all over my keyboard. I got too excited. That's a joke.
That was a story circle right there.
That was the hero's journey.
Oh, fuck. Did you notice when she stabs him, he bleeds green?
Yeah, and
Like
I
we
wondered if it
see
was
it.
the same acid, and I was like, that seems dangerous, but the blade was fine.
The green blood excited me because, like, that was like That's some classic. Like, first of all, that's been adapted into Mortal Kombat since when you are uppercutting Reptile or Devora or some of the other like non-humans, they do bleed green. But also in Samurai Showdown, like 2 and 3 in the US releases, they censored them and they changed all the blood to green because they were able to get around like if
they said it was Gatorade.
Yeah, basically, because they're like, well, it's not human blood, right? It's green, it's something else, and then it wasn't blood anymore, and it was fine. So like, I thought this was kind of an interesting, if an unintentional reference to like video game censorship.
I think it's green because Reptile is green.
Anyway,
and then we get a pretty good sequence here.
Yeah, Kung
Lao's fucking pissed as shit. He is not pleased.
They blow the hive up. She's off in the distance by the time the explosion goes off. He's sort of like still standing nearby, like in shock. Right. And I didn't really get it, but then I fucking got it. I was like, oh, that's right. She's angry because the reptiles killed Tomas, her boyfriend, a few episodes ago. Of course she fucking hates them. Right.
And she also says they're not even people.
Right. Yeah.
In their argument. Also,
that's troubling.
Yeah, she says that was not a person.
Right.
And also, really quick, this is clearly shot at, like, I know there's a filter on it, but, like, this is the most golden scene. It looks like it was just baked in an oven.
Hey, this whole show's gold, baby.
I actually really like how it looks. It looks great. And so they're bickering because it's like, yo, I want to interrogate them. And she's like, how do you interrogate somebody that spits acid at you that turns you into a skeleton? Oh, that's right. You don't, you fucking idiot. You absolute clown. You fucking maroon. And they're just bickering. And
Raiden pops in.
And Raiden decides that he needs to intervene.
And Kung Lao straight up like, all right, Raiden, give her the speech. Raiden's like, what speech? He's like, the one you've given me on 12 of the past episodes of this TV show about not giving into the rage and the hate and the anger and everything.
Yeah, the one that you need to constantly remind me and how revenge will bring back the dead and et cetera, et cetera. And then Raiden decides that Kung Lao did enough of that on his own. It's like, good job, bud.
Yeah. But
then he just says these reptiles don't give away their secrets. And then Kung Lao asks the dumb idiot question where he asks Raiden for any information at all. And then Raiden just says, think about what you've done before and make educated guesses. And Kung Lao's like, you don't fucking help us for shit, old man.
He doesn't. But he does pull Taja aside before they walk off. And he's like, look, I'm not going to give you a lecture, but hatred may prepare you for battle, but it makes a lousy weapon. And she's like, oh, you're not going to give me a lecture? All right, you just did.
Yeah.
Dick. And she walks off.
Well, you're missing a line that I think is funny, where she's like, okay, yeah, you're not going to give me a speech, huh? And he says, just a few of my clever words. Remember them, please. And something about the tone that Jeffrey Meek is hitting in this one, where he's sort of just like fucking... I don't know. I genuinely struggle to articulate it, but he's riding the line on the right side of it for me, where like he's snarky and shitty and like borderline condescending, but in a way that's fun. Yeah. It's fun this time. This whole episode is so much fucking fun. Yeah, I was having the time of my life.
This is good Raiden. I would definitely put that up there this episode with good Raiden.
My note says, just a few clever words. Remember them, please. I love this episode to death.
I think the please really puts a nice punctuation on it.
Yeah, it's just nice.
He's like, look, Kung Lao just admitted I've said the same thing to him 12 times. Please remember it, so I only have to say it once.
I think I have gone past the point where I can meaningfully analyze and critique this show on a deep level without circling back to just saying I love this shit over and over again.
Hey, I knew you'd get there eventually.
And I do also just like that we are getting a scene where Kung Lao and Taja, or I guess that happens more a little bit later, but it's relevant. Yeah. They're just talking through their emotions and balancing out like tempers and stuff. Yeah. I like when the characters get a chance to do that and it's not like a one-sided educational moment.
Yeah. So from here we go back to Zatera and it's a date. It's like a date between Reptile and Kreeya. Like they're sitting at a little table and they've got food in front of them and Kreeya's got like a glass of wine and Reptile is just eating a giant bowl of insects of worms and maggots and shit.
He's like, I can be a human man, but I'm still gonna eat gross, gnarly shit.
He belches after he finishes eating it, and he didn't take his mask off to eat it. Presumably,
he doesn't need to.
He ate it through the mask.
Sure, they figured it out. And then all I could focus on was that Kreeya very much has her murder chalice out.
Yeah.
And I was like, Reptile, watch out. Kreeya's murder chalice is here. And then I honestly thought we were going to get the "we're not so different, you and I," which we kind of do. But
we
then
started to.
They decide to not do that bit as the writers. And then Vorpax cock blocks them.
Yeah, Kreeya she's cranking up the flirt, right? She's like reached out and she's grabbed Reptile's hand. And they are kind of doing we're not so different. And yeah, fucking Vorpax. Like, it was a date. It was a fucking date. I can't believe it. We saw a weird ass. Why do they have dates like humans? It doesn't make sense. Anyway.
Why do they have dates?
Like humans have dates. Like, why is a reptile date still like a romantic dinner?
They're still in Earth. No, they're not actually.
No, they're not.
Well, I don't know, man. I don't have a good answer to you.
It's it's interesting. Like, I don't know what else they would be doing. Like, hey, let's go out on a date tonight and scurry into a giant knothole in a tree and eat some ants. Because we're lizard people, and that's what we do.
Well, he's in human form, so maybe he's having human dates.
You save the kinky lizard stuff for the third date.
Yes.
All right.
That's canon.
Vorpax disrupts them.
Hey, another reptile died, and Reptile is like, hey, we're killing everybody in Earth, fuck them, I don't give a shit anymore.
And another one of our hives was destroyed. Reptile Prime, whatever I fucking called him. He is pissed, right? He's like, that's it. These motherfuckers have to die now, right? Now we're back with Zero in the woods, hobbling around like an injured man. I think he's wearing one of Raiden's cloaks. I'm not sure. And what he was doing was checking out the site.
I thought he was doing just Raiden cosplay. He's got like a cool shawl.
Yeah.
Sort of thing.
Sweet boots.
Satchel bag.
Full of apples and bombs. He's checking out.
Thick jaw. Thick doors.
Somebody photoshopped Zero, but with thick doors for arms.
No, like big Roman columns for arms. And a big door as a torso, if you will.
Okay. And he's checking out the site where he had found that hive earlier that Anka had supposedly exploded. And first of all, he doesn't see any debris. And then he sees that the hive is just right fucking there. So he's like,
well,
okay, well, guess I
got to do all this shit myself then, huh?
Yeah. So he blows it up. He lights a bomb, tosses it in.
And then it does a big CG kaboom.
It's really good looking. Here's the thing that's fucking me up, though. So they found that dead reptile guard. They didn't then put another reptile guard to guard the unguarded hive.
No, I mean, you have a finite number of reptiles. How do you think they're just growing on trees?
They really are bad at war.
Yeah, no, they're trash at war. Shit ass bad at war.
Now we're back in Zhuzhen, and Kiri and Anka are getting their sorority girl on. They're just running around town, laughing and giggling, and just drinking something right out of the bottle. Real party girl attitude.
Just getting fucking blasted.
It's awesome. And they run into Vorpax.
They're just giggling and enjoying themselves, and they're like, "Oh shit, our boss is here."
Yeah.
Vorpax is like, "Yo, we had a date.
They've been working for Vorpax this whole time.
I'm so surprised." And Kiri and Anka, the best part of that was I don't care if they're double crossing me because they could not give less of a shit. They're like, "Oh, we've been doing our job, touching each other and distracting people,
getting day drunk into night drunk."
Yeah, getting day drunk into appropriate drunk.
Yeah, and Vorpax is like, you guys fucked up. They found another hive. They blew it up. You guys were supposed to keep them away from the hives. And Kiri and Anka are like, well, they told us to split up. Like, what were we supposed to do? And Vorpax is like, not fucking split up, you idiots.
And then Kiri and Anka are like, okay, fine, fuck, we'll kill them, whatever.
Yeah, that's the stupid... Okay, this is the stupidest thing that's happened on this show. All right?
Hit me.
Vorpax is like, you guys fucked up on this easy job. Now, I am going to give you the hardest job in the world. The job that nobody has ever been able to do, including you guys once before. Your punishment is that you now have to kill Kung Lao and Zero and Taja. You know, the hardest thing to do, apparently. The thing that everyone has failed at. Send your good people, right?
Yeah. A lot of people seem to think that it makes perfect sense that it is a sensible punishment to demand that people just decide to kill the combat crew as if it's an easily accomplished task.
Whatever. Again, bad at war. So they're like, okay, fine. We'll kill him. We'll kill Kung Kung Lao. We'll kill Kung Lao. We'll kill martial law from Tekken.
How have we not said the word Tekken 8,000 times on this podcast? Our restraint deserves an award. Tekken, Zaibatsu, Tekken, martial law, Tekken.
King, Armor King, let's go.
Heihachi, eyebrow, murder, ass cleavage.
Can't believe I got that into the IMDb trivia.
I genuinely can't fucking believe that.
Hilarious.
Like, there's no way any, like, they say they're gonna verify it, right, or approve it. There's no way any follow-up happens at all.
Dude, I think it was just believable enough that the person was like, nobody cares about this movie anyway.
We gotta check that.
If I try to submit trivia for, like, Dunkirk, I think they would be a little
In
bit more.
Dunkirk, Harry Styles put the pants on backwards,
Yeah.
and his dick is out the whole movie.
I think they do their due diligence a little bit more, but god damn it, now that I know that certain sections of IMDb are free
The
reign,
Wild West of the internet.
why are we not filling these up with trivia about Mortal Kombat Conquest episodes? Anyway.
So
So now's the scene where Taja and Kung Lao are kind of back in the city, and Taja, like, she apologizes to Kung Lao for, letting her anger take hold of her and killing the dude. And Kung Lao is like, I understand why you did it. I have a list too. I have a list of people I want to murder also.
I've got a kill list.
Right.
But the thing is, you suppress the kill list.
Yeah, she asks him how he sees through the rage, and he's like, honestly, I struggle with it, and I just try to push it away. And I know it'll come back, but I just try to push it away. This is not a long-term solution.
I
Kung Lao.
repress my emotions and then feel them later when it's more appropriate. And as we see at the end of this episode, that dog don't hunt.
Nah, yeah.
That's not a long-term solution, as you said.
No way.
And they don't have a lot of time to finish that conversation because they get home and they're like, well, okay, Ciro's not here. That's weird. He was hurt. I'll go look for Ciro, Taja says. And then Kiri and Anka,
They're just laying there, being hot,
just laying
and
on top of
drinking.
each other, just vibing, keeping it tight.
Mhm.
And they're like, yeah, we looked everywhere. We don't know where he is.
Keeping it tight. Come on.
What?
Go on.
I'm quoting something.
All right. Go on.
And so they're like, man, Kung Lao, now that you're all alone, you look tense as fuck and real tired. What if we touched you a lot without you wanting us to do that? What if we wanted to fuck you to death? Would you say yes to that?
So they're like, how about a massage and a bath and then to bed?
And then Anka's like, ugh, Kung Lao, come on. You would have had a way better time dying if you said yes to the massage. She is just like, she is talking like a woman upset that she has to do work.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then something insane happens, just absolutely fucking crazy.
Holy shit.
So earlier there is a bumper where Kung Lao is fighting two reptile people. And I clocked internally in my head, those kind of look like women instead of men. That's interesting. Lo and fucking behold, Kiri and Anka are reptiles. And they don't transform into the translucent alligator men. They transform into just being in the green ninja outfit. And I don't know why that matters or happened. And
They fight.
so have they always been this?
They have always been this. That's the big secret.
And they fight. The fight's fine.
Kiri and
It's
Anka
fine.
are lizard people.
And then a big uh-oh happens.
Yeah. Yeah, the fight's okay. It's not great. It's okay. It's a typical Kung Lao versus two people fight. Always solid. Nothing to write home about. Until, God, what happens? They flanked him, right? They're on either side of him. And Kiri is going to spit some acid right as Ciro returns back to the combat club. He sees what's going on, and he dive tackles Kung Lao out of the way. Just as she spits the acid, it flies across and hits Anka, and Anka reptile melts.
No! Pour one out for my girl Anka.
Pour one out for everyone's favorite Mortal Kombat character, Anka.
Yeah, genuinely. Give me an Anka skin
Fatality.
for reptile, please.
So her lover killed her.
And that's dark.
That's really dark.
And then she just leaves.
Yeah, she's pissed, and she runs off. So then Zero fills in Kung Lao. He's like, yeah, I went out because I was suspicious of Kiri and Anka. I found the hive that Anka supposedly destroyed, but don't worry, it's actually destroyed this time. We missed out one thing, Kiri and Anka, when Zero, God damn it, when Kung Lao and Taja got back, they claimed that they found a hive at the bottom of the ravine, and they blew it up, right?
Allegedly.
Bullshit. They were fucking lying. They were just hanging out in town getting drunk. Anyway.
And honestly, mood.
Yeah. Back in Camp Kreeya, Vorpax is hanging out with Kiri, right? And Kiri is like...
mourning.
She's grieving over Anka and also trying to talk Vorpax into becoming her new girlfriend.
Yeah. She moves on fast.
Super fast.
She does literally say the sentence, "I'm grieving."
Yeah.
And then immediately the conversation transitions into, "Hey, do you want to be my girlfriend?"
Yeah, she had to say "I'm grieving" because her behavior did not
really indicate that. She's playing with a flower, and also she's in a new outfit that is one of my favorite things we've ever seen.
It's her old outfit.
Well, new outfit for this, because it's a bikini with separate detached sleeves on one arm, and that's extremely funny.
That's the classic Kiri outfit from Noob Saibot.
Vorpax says, "We may be allies, but we're not alike. Thank you for your..." And they're playing coy about it. They both know that the invitation is, "Hey, do you want to have like cool sex?"
Right.
And Vorpax is like, "Nah, I'm good.
It.
I'm good without the cool sex." And Kiri's like, "Are you sure?"
Yeah.
How sure are you?
Vorpax is pretty sure. She's pretty sure. So then she's like, "No, my queen needs my help with something," or
I'm gonna go wait for the queen or whatever. And then Reptile, watch out. Kreeya's in her murdering outfit.
Kreeya is going to mate with Simp Lord Reptile.
A lot. He's like, not just once. So many warriors, bro. You're not even ready for the amount of warriors we're about to create. And that's like, ugh.
She's like, "Come on, we'll make an army." And he's like, "No, we're going to make
armies, plural."
I know what happens to your other mates, and that's not going to happen to me. And I maybe I'm reading into this. I think you see a little bit of uneasiness on Kreeya's face where she's like, "Oh shit, he's on to me." I think that she has some control over who lives and dies, perhaps.
Yeah, I would imagine so, but she is in the exact same outfit that killed Big Jaw Man.
But it ain't going to happen with Reptile, with Simp Lord Reptile. So that was absolutely a date, what we saw earlier.
Yeah, no, 100%. They were courting.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Like Victorian era courting.
So that's it. Now Kreeya is going to mate. We're going to get all these weird Kreeya reptile babies. That's supposed to be the new plan.
Yeah.
And,
meanwhile,
gross.
And that's weighing heavily on
the crew.
Kung Lao's mind. They're like, we defeated 2 armies and we don't even know if that shit matters literally at all.
She can just make new ones
we get them
practically
all?
overnight.
It doesn't matter. We're gonna lose by attrition if they can make infinite people. And Kung Lao is just like, man, I was not ready for war. I don't feel good for this. And also, we're fighting so many enemies. Taja's like, Zero, who are we even focusing on at this point? And Kung Lao sort of lays it out. It's like, yeah, we got Kreeya, Shao Kahn, Shang Tsung, who we haven't had to talk about much today. And that's a bit of a problem. And he's like, Kung Lao just sort of takes a seat and he's like, I'm going to fucking kill everybody.
Yeah, he's got that rage in his eyes.
He's got that Anakin Skywalker look in his eyes.
Totally.
And it kind of runs counter, obviously, to that conversation they had like literally 5 minutes ago. About controlling your anger and rage. But as we said, Kung Lao's coping strategies are poor at best.
Yeah.
I don't know if my overall discussion of this episode communicated this. This episode is so much fun to watch.
It is a really fun episode.
It might be the most fun to just sit down and witness happen to you.
Yeah, this one was bonkers. This was definitely up there. I think if you watch this back to back with the other Kreeya episode, the entire experience probably gets better. Probably helps that other Kreeya episode feel a little better. I'm not sure. But yeah, this was a good one.
But this one's really good. Like, that's really all I have. I don't have a big overarching point or summary. It's just this was good.
Yeah, and I'm here for reptile shit all day long. I love the reptile man.
Too bad we're probably not getting any more.
Well, I think that we are. I'm not positive, but I'm pretty sure that we are going to get more reptile. That's episode 18.
It's a banger.
Another Kreeya episode. We are going to get another Kreeya episode. I don't think it's next week, though. It might be.
I can check what's next week.
Well, I know it is next week. Next week, episode 19,
Well, which one is it then?
Flawed Victory. With Shang Tsung loose in the Earthrealm, uneasy alliances are formed to stop his reign of terror. So it's a Shang Tsung episode.
Is the entire rest of this show just going to be people forming weird alliances?
Pretty
the television
much.
show.
We're also going to get Sora, Cian, Mika, and Quan Chi. The whole gang. The whole Quan Chi gang.
Okay.
This is the other half of Unholy Alliance. Flawed Victory.
Hell yeah. Fucking love that, dude.
Yeah, but we got a lot happening to close out this this series, and I'm really looking forward to it, and also sad to see it ending.
Yeah, mixed emotions. You're moving left and right. Mixed emotions. But I'm having a good time, and I don't know. As long if we're ending on a high note, I really don't. I'm good. I don't care. I just want to end on a high, and I want to make sure that this podcast stays good.
All right, Corey, I think we should pack up our bags with a bunch of apples and a bunch of bombs and head out to the forest to destroy some nests. What do you have to plug?
Oh, yeah, I guess we do plugs on this show. Remember last week when I said I was going to Twitter, Letterboxd, Mr. Corey Price, other podcast. They made another one with our friend Liam. Movie stuff. Look it up. You can do it. They made another on Twitter. They made another one on all your podcast services. TMAO on Letterboxd. There it is.
All right. You can find me on Twitter at Final Neal, my retro gaming Instagram account at Final Neal Retro. Follow the show on Twitter at MK Podquest, also Instagram at MK Podquest. There's also a Tumblr out there, and a YouTube channel. Go subscribe to our YouTube channel. Catch up on
a lot of cool shit going on there. Especially if you're not watching the show, but you want to see it, that's a good way to do it.
And subscribe to the show in your podcast app. Leave us good 5-star reviews. And we will be back next week to talk about episode 19, Flawed Victory.
Finish him. Like in the Reptile thing, not the other show.
Finish him.
Finish them.
I mean, have we seen a flawless victory in the show?
Never once.
Never once.
The irony of bothering to call it flawed victory in the first place is that every single victory anyone has ever had has been that. And not in that they got hit, but that they're just profoundly not the ideal way to go about it.
Yeah, they're always flawed victories.